All right, let's rock and roll.
Cool, okay, so let's do it. So learn, invent, program, report. So this is models of impact. One thing that I think is good for you guys to know, I love games for strategy because it immediately breaks down any kind of fear that there was around doing this. When I sit down with a client and say, hey, we're gonna do a year-long strategic plan, that's so scary, right? For any client, like, oh my God, how am I gonna execute this? What am I even gonna think about? But then when you pull out dice or cards or weird worksheets or whatever it is, just the tension goes down, so that's great. But I love dice in particular because randomization is really important to me. Trying to not actually think outside of the box and actually really trust the dice is something that we're going to be doing today. The process of learn, invent, program, report, it's really simple. It's kind of like a lot of design thinking sort of methods that you might have heard of in terms of that flow. Learn is all about trying to learn about what's out there. I mentioned we have a bunch of models that we've collected. It's all downloadable at modelsofimpact.co. And basically it's a glossary of almost, I think about 250 models now that we have with little definitions of each of them. A few examples, Homeboy Industries here in LA, a lot of you have probably heard of them. They have a model known as Jobs for Transitional Communities. So that's an impact model they have where the whole purpose is to employ people that were previously incarcerated or are transitioning out of a gang. So they create businesses that these people actually operate, and that employs them, but also on the revenue side, it brings back money to the organization to sustain their efforts. Meathead Movers, another really cool example. They employ student athletes to move stuff. So if you're moving to a new apartment, new home, right, they'll come and take your couch or whatever it is. What's cool though is they thought, hey, what's an impact model we might have? And what's a community that could really benefit from what they do? And what they do is they donate a percentage of their moves, so percentage of their work, kind of like partial pro bono, to victims of domestic abuse. So people that are trying to actually move out of a bad situation, they'll get you out of there. They'll help support that. Rising Tide Car Wash. This is a car wash in Florida. It's one of my favorite examples. The father's the founder, his son has autism, and he learned that about 500,000 people with autism were going to be coming of age to enter the workforce in the next couple of years. Crazy number. And a lot of them would be having a hard time getting a job. And so he thought, what's the strategic advantage of having autism? And he learned that people with autism really thrive on really deep focus or very specific or repetitive tasks as well. And I go like this because what better job than working at a car wash? So they opened up this car wash and it's become really successful. They're opening up a second branch as well, and they only employ people with autism. So it's just a few examples. There's a lot of examples out there. What we do in Invent is basically come up with something new. And that's what Chris and I are going to demo with you guys today. The whole idea is to take impact models, revenue models, and other factors and randomly combine them in order to generate an idea. We do that with dice, right? I talked about how I like randomization. Any company, any new business, you guys may have faced this, you're trying to pick your business model. What you're going to do is you're going to either go with what is most common in the market that you work in, or you're going to go with the model that you've heard of. But there's actually hundreds of models out there, right, that you might not have even considered. And so by rolling the dice and forcing yourself to think through one of those models, even if you don't end up using it, it's really helpful just to kind of expand your horizons and think about the possibilities for your organization or for your company. The context of this session, I hope to do at least 2 rounds of rapid fire with Chris. The whole goal is to actually start a new business with Chris on the spot, but we actually need your guys' help to do that. And so the concept for tonight is the future. I threw an E on. And so I'm going to actually solicit from you guys. Hey, I know all about having brands that have like unique spelling, right? I have no space between Verynice. It's thrown people off since day one. So 20 things from you guys. The context is the future. So these could be future trends, emerging technologies, maybe big social issues. You can think in the next 5 to 10 years. Could be in America, could be in Egypt, right? Keep it open. But I need 20 of them, and so I don't want you guys to think too hard about this.
Let's do this, guys.
Yeah, Chris.
This is a smart group. Wait, hold on. We don't have a mic. That's okay. You guys just shout it out.
Just shout, and I'll repeat.
Okay, you'll repeat it. So
no, you repeat. Yeah.
I'm gonna start. Oh, I'll repeat.
You start though.
Let me go last.
Okay.
I'm just like, hey, I'm just a host here, right? I'm just couch candy, okay, guys? Come on. All right, you guys. Let's throw something out.
Future technologies, big issues, AI.
AI. Drones. Virtual reality.
What else we got?
Augmented reality.
All right.
Don't say mixed reality because I'll kill you. I mean, we got the realities covered, right? Who else?
Aging population.
Nice.
Aging population.
Electric cars.
What was that?
Electric cars. CRISPR? Yeah. A man of science.
Degrading social habits or mores, right? Because everyone's into the
Degrading social habits. Overpopulation.
All right, we've already got tension on the board. That's good.
Ending patriarchy.
Ending patriarchy.
That's a nice optimistic one instead of just like growth of patriarchy. Okay, we need 10 more.
foreign political influences.
Ooh.
Whoa.
It's just going to go there right now, you guys. They say keep the politics out of the future, and you guys just drag it back in. Right, I like it. Cheryl, what about you? Anything? Okay, just get ready. As soon as you have something, you throw it out. Everybody, I mean the team, anybody can say anything.
Okay, domed cities. I'm going to throw that out there.
Dome cities.
Yeah.
Now, are these just issues, or are these...
Issues, big, exciting trends, like really anything. You said homelessness?
Bicycle transit or multimodal.
Think about what?
Okay, hold on.
Multimodal.
Multimodal transit. I don't even know what that means.
Walking, biking, cars, buses.
Oh, well, what I do every day.
And I think I heard drinking water. Okay. So I like clean water.
I have to say it. I'm sorry, education.
Yep.
Bankrupting student debt.
Ha. Let's just say student debt.
Cryptocurrency, blockchain.
Let's not do blockchain. Let's do crypto. Because everyone's like, with blockchain, you're like, oh, it's this digital ledger. And like, well, what the hell's a ledger? Okay. Crypto, we need one more. So I'm just going to say dogs. Because there's hopefully going to be dogs in the future, too.
Science exploration in space.
We're already done. But we can send...
No, you have one more.
Oh, my God.
You only stopped at 19.
Science exploration and... Okay.
She's trying to put down Tim. Just like, well, let the man free. I got your back.
Science exploration in space. Cool. Okay.
Do I get to roll the dice? I've been waiting all night to roll the dice.
You get to. So, but what we're going to do is with each of these rounds, and we don't have to follow this too strictly, but the basic idea is kind of come up with an idea. Think of what's the opportunity, why might this be a bad idea, and how might we actually test this out. That's the idea. The scale we're looking at is 5 to 10 years, though, so we're allowed to be pretty outlandish with this. And the first round's easy. We're rolling one from each list. I have impact and revenue models up there on the screen. And then we're also going to be rolling from this list of other factors as well. So we need one from each.
So I roll?
So go ahead
just
and roll.
one dice, right?
Yeah,
it's a 20-sided die. I'm going to go with the
20-sided die.
orange one. So here we go.
So the impact model
3.
is percentage of inventory donated. So what that means is our business is going to donate a percentage of our physical stuff to somebody or something. Okay? So now roll for our revenue.
I'll use the green die.
Okay.
11.
11, so we got affiliate programs. So we're going to be working with celebrities, influencers, and we're going to have them share our links.
Yeah.
Okay, now roll for our other factor.
Okay, I'm going to use a different color die.
Okay.
8.
8. So 8, we've got degrading social habits. Whoever shouted that out, can you tell us what you meant by that?
So I have a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old, and I'm noticing we're raising our kids. We're trying so hard to not let them have any kind of digital device in their hands until they're 20. But
Got it.
in all honesty, like to give them a real analog experience growing up, a real education, so they can interact and interface with humans and nature and everything around them. Even when we go to the doctor's office or something, we see other little kids with other 2-year-olds with these devices. They're not engaging or anything. My next thought is, when my kids are of dating age and stuff like that, they're going to have a hard time interacting with their peers. So it's a trend that I'm starting to see articles and stuff try to curl it back, but it might be a little bit late for one or two of the earlier generations.
Cool. So totally get it. So our goal, we got to start some kind of business that tackles this issue of how do we help kids in this really technological world talk to each other, right? Or be social beings, be able to integrate into society, be successful in relationships and business, anything like that. And we're going to do it by also giving back some kind of percentage of our inventory. And we're going to tap affiliate programs to help us make some money. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
It's a tough one.
Well, let's use the brain power of the people in the room.
Yeah.
What kind of business model can we create where we can kind of slow down or potentially reverse the trend of people living online? It really is what we're talking about, right? Now, I love technology, so I'm not your ideal candidate to brainstorm on this one. But let's just use the power of the group.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Some sort of program where people go to maybe after school or something like that, that's a paid program with advisors that really promote social interaction.
Okay. And so maybe some of our workshop leaders at that after-school program ironically have a really great online following. And they help us promote to get kids to come to this program. What about with the percentage that we're donating? What is it that we could donate, do you guys think?
Could be like projects that they make, like art projects or something like that.
Interesting.
That would be useful somewhere else.
Interesting. Yeah. Any other ideas?
Well, when we're talking about the habits of really young people, we're really talking to their parents and less about these kids, because he said 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. So these habits start really, really early, because once they're at that age where they're deciding to do things on their own, it's kind of too late. So what we need to do is focus on experiences that are attractive to their parents, who they can, tools maybe, things, kits and things that you can use and build at home, in community, something like that, right? Anti-technology things.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it could even be extended into parent participation, where they have to, because how many times you go to the park, you see all the parents on their phone while the kids are playing. So that there's they're modeling after you, the parent. So you have to, there has to be some mechanism or
okay,
activity.
That's good. That's helping to box this in a little bit.
Yeah, I think we've got the structure of this idea. So it sounds like we've got either this after-school program or this kind of toolbox, this kit. Either of those, they bring students and parents together to have some kind of physical, fun experience. It's promoted by influencers, and maybe we're donating a percentage of those toolkits or a percentage of those seats to...
Or it could be a dance or something like that, and some celebrities there to entertain.
Yeah.
And the donation for the stuff could be shoes or records.
Materials needed. Yeah.
Okay, and there's an idea back here.
Building off of what you first said, there has to be a level of like selling this idea, right? So like technology has been sort of marketed and sold to us, but now sort of the opposite. So human interaction, nature, all these other things outside of technology have to then be resold, both to the kids and then to the parents, to your point. So, I mean, you might be a very conscientious parent, and I agree with you, right? You know about modeling behavior, but not all parents know that. So there has to be like a level of marketing and selling this idea and promoting it to even make anyone want to buy into it, right? Because it's going to be harder. Because I criticize. I'm not a parent myself, so I criticize parents all the time at restaurants. Like, look at all that screen time that kid's having, right? And I know it's damaging, but it's easier than lugging the crayons, the old school way of like lugging the crayons and the books and the toys to the restaurant or staying at home.
Yeah, I like it. So I think what's happening is we've got this physical product of some sort that encourages this outdoor activity or this just non-screen based activity. And it is it's marketed by way of actually sharing helpful information to parents by these influencers, right? So they're not just literally trying to sell the product, but they're also trying to actually provide advice or provide tips of some sort.
So then your influencers have to be like parents that we want to be, I guess? Right?
Yeah.
Like cool parents, like
Celebrity parents,
yeah, like
Beyonce.
what's the who's
Gwyneth
Dax's
Paltrow?
wife?
Yeah,
Who?
Who's the blonde girl? Dax's wife?
I know
Dax?
nothing
Who's
about
Dax?
celebrities.
Kristen Bell, yeah, like that kind of parent. Like they're
Okay,
cool, but they're successful.
yeah.
They're fun.
Maybe this can be a tie-in with a promotional campaign in the next 10 years for like Bad Moms 5 or something. Like maybe that movie comes out by then. Cool. Okay, I'm happy with that idea. Anybody want to add anything? Yeah.
I was just going to add, and I'm not a parent either, but there's a lot of parent training programs out there even before you even have the kid, whether it be books or materials. Maybe midwives are running programs for parents to be, and maybe part of the sell for this organization is that we either sell training materials for courses to hospitals, midwives, and those who are doing birthing classes, and or becoming presenters that you can buy us. Our presenters will come in and will present on these particular topics of trends to stay away from as a new parent in X, Y, and Z, combined with the after birth program of here are some programs, after school programs or what have you. So it's almost like a two-tiered of offering educational services, and then part of the give could be free download pamphlets on getting ready for either birth of whoever.
Awesome. I think these are all really great ideas. So this gives you a little bit of a flavor of how this works, right? When you take these seemingly disconnected things and you throw them into one room or into one piece of paper and try to have an idea start with that, the sort of options are endless, right? A lot of times when we're doing this, people are getting into small groups and they're working on this idea for about 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it's as quick as doing it at home over just a few minutes to kind of activate and come up with an idea of some sort. It does get more complicated with each round, and so I do want to do the second round just to try this out. So first round is, we actually landed on a pretty complicated trio, but the first round is technically the easy round. With each round, we actually start adding more complexity. So this time we're rolling 2 from each list.
Okay.
And we're coming up with some kind of new business, product, or service that's going to combine all 6 of those things. So this is where it starts to get a little bit crazy.
Now, I'm curious, when you facilitate this, are you a little bit more selective as to what you write up on the board, or you just write whatever?
No, I write whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I write whatever, and it almost always works.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, different styles, different strokes
Yeah.
for different folks.
Yeah. What is very selective is the models, right? So the models I put up here are from our glossary, are ones that you guys have definitely interacted with at some point. With each community I go into, I tend to curate the models depending on what's happening in their local region or anything like that. But yeah.
Let's do round 2.
Okay, so roll us 2 impact
2
models.
dice?
Yeah, 2 at once.
2 at once. 5 and 18.
Okay, so 5, we've got employee engagement program. So what that is some kind of program that benefits your employees. That might be, Facebook doing all kinds of fun concerts or different things like that. That could be as simple as just providing health benefits of some sort, right? And then what was the other number?
18.
So 18 is local jobs. So see, this is an example, right? There's 2 here, but they actually go really well together. So our business is going to hire locally. Okay, now our revenue models.
19 and 11.
Okay, 11, we got affiliate programs again. And 19, we got business to consumer. So business to consumer, that means we only sell to consumers. We don't sell to other businesses. We don't sell to governments, right? So we're pretty specific there.
What was the other one?
And affiliate programs.
Okay,
again.
all right.
Okay, now our 2 other factors.
Roll these 2?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
This one's going to be a disaster.
It could be.
1 and 1. Okay, let me roll a different dice.
Well, okay, here's the thing. You can re-roll. Sometimes when I land on the same thing more than once, I think that something's telling me that I really just got to focus on that. So it's okay to not re-roll. That's our decision. Do you want to roll another?
No, I mean, what are the odds of getting snake eyes on 2 20-sided die?
Okay.
That's bananas.
That means that this is going to be a really good idea.
Okay.
So we've got AI, we got artificial intelligence. This is a lot of different conflicts going on. So this is a really good role. Because AI, right, in 5 to 10 years is going to displace a lot of jobs.
Yep.
Right? Yet, our whole mission is to create local jobs. And not only to create those jobs, but to have them be really awesome jobs, because we've got employee engagement programs. And we're even selling to consumers. We're selling to individual people, which means that they have enough money to buy stuff, which means that they have jobs too.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
And then we've got affiliate programs to help do that. So I think we actually have a lot of pieces for an idea. We just don't know what we're selling. Right? So what do you guys think? What is it that we might want to be selling to people?
Well, let's just have a little discussion about AI.
Okay.
Right? Because AI might mean a lot of different things to you guys. You guys might start thinking about the Terminator right away or something like that, Skynet. But in practical terms, because we're seeing it right now, it's like machine learning. You guys know machine learning is like predictive and using complex algorithms to kind of figure out kind of what you want. A very apropos example of this is when I was at Adobe Max, they talked about these new products. So you can do a really nasty pencil sketch, and it will figure out that you want a human being, it's in outer space, and it starts to build the comp for you, believe it or not, in layers. Super exciting for some people, super scary to others. And it was kind of like, I could barely tell what it is, and the machine already can figure it out. So it starts to select things from a vast library of assets that you already have. And you know, like some of you guys are crazy nuts like me, you start going and you meta tag everything so everything can be searchable. You give it a ranking 1 to 5 stars, you start to say it's a woman and of this age and wearing this thing. You don't have to do that anymore, that's a thing of the past. So that's a job that somebody used to have to do. It could have been an assistant, an intern, or it could just be you. The machine is learning. It knows that that's a woman wearing this kind of dress and she's approximately of this age. So you don't have to do that anymore. You can just kind of tell it what you want. That's pretty cool. So now we kind of have, maybe like just to ground it in the next 5 to 10 years, we're not going to have synthetic humans. Right. We're not going to have Ryan Gosling walking around as the replicant yet. Right? Yet.
But we might have some restaurants that are automated, right? There's already grocery stores, like Amazon is piloting a grocery store that uses computer vision to actually assess what you took out of the store and charge you for that, right? So that's displacing some jobs to an extent, but there's a lot of arguments, like when the ATM came out, that it actually didn't impact jobs that much, or it led to new jobs, right, of maintenance or new career opportunities or anything like that. So,
well, it could also alleviate redundant and repetitive tasks of not just giving you cash, so human beings can focus on relationships and talking to people.
Right. That might be a way to bridge it to our first idea, actually, of trying to increase social behaviors. Mm-hmm. But what do we think? We want to have a business. It focuses on local jobs. We know it treats those people well as also, but it leverages AI, or it's in response to AI. What do you guys think?
Trash pickup or environmental cleanups and stuff like that.
Okay, so great idea. So let's say our business picks up trash, right?
In the ocean.
In the ocean. Boom, makes it even better. So we pick up trash in the ocean. Where is that taking place? Because we're focusing on local. So is that in Santa Monica? Where is that?
Venice, where the trash meets the sea. I can say that. I used to live in Venice, you guys. I can say that.
So we're in Venice.
Yes, we are.
So who are we hiring? What's their job?
Homeless people.
Homeless people. So we've got this company. We're picking up trash in the ocean using robots, right? They're doing it without us. We're employing homeless people in the community. We're treating them really well. What do they do? What's their role in this company?
I think actually it would be the human resource would be the collection of it, and the AI aspect could be the sorting of it. Because some trash items might have a value, like cans and bottles and stuff, where other trash, like used cigarette butts, can be tossed or incinerated or used for whatever else. That's a repetitive, redundant job. That could also be learning, because a clean cigarette butt looks different than a mangled, stepped on, driven over rained on whatever.
Right.
Cigarette butt, right? So I think that's where we can leverage that. What else we got?
We also had affiliate programs, business to consumer.
Yeah, business to consumer. So where are we at with that?
Yeah, great question. So that's the question of who are we actually selling
Cigarette butt necklaces.
this to? Right, yeah. Because what we're describing so far almost sounds like a government program of some sort, right? Dealing with ocean cleanups. How is this actually a consumer-driven company? Are we turning the trash we're picking up into, cigarette butt necklaces, or are we, what's coming of that?
There's a lot of plastic.
Right?
You can reuse the plastic and use those machines that extrude plastic, and you can make new things out of it, right?
I like that.
Yeah.
So what kind of thing? What do we want to make? We want to make glasses. We want to make hats. Insulation for houses. Bricks
Yes.
to build homes.
No, but to consumer, right? We want
Yeah.
a consumer. Like,
Yeah.
what can we make?
I like something around homes because it ties back to the fact that part of our mission is employing homeless people. So maybe we are taking the plastic from the oceans and we're turning that into some kind of temporary living space, temporary structure that people can buy into if they're going to go camping or furniture, right? Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Good. So the third round, which I think we have time to do one more.
Okay.
Yeah. This can be rapid fire. It gets even crazier, right? We're doing 3 from each.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we're going to need a lot of energy, right? And this is our last of the day, or of the night. So let's have some fun with it, right?
3 dice.
3.
3 die. Anybody play Dungeons and Dragons when you were a kid? I need a dungeon master. All right, let's do it. I want to play Dungeons and Dragons with somebody. This is bringing back good feelings. 12, 16, and 17.
Okay, so 12, 16, and 17. We got access to education, jobs for people with disabilities, and pro bono service.
Pro bono service?
Service, like
Service.
we give pro bono
Okay.
services.
So far, so good?
Those are good.
Next one.
Now revenue models.
3, 13, 15.
So we got freemium, hourly rate, and e-commerce. Freemium is, something can be available for free, or if you want more features, you can pay a little bit more, typically on a monthly structure. Okay, and what are our other factors up there?
Oh, this is scary,
We need
guys.
3.
This is so scary.
This can be really easy.
Oh my
or
gosh,
really...
don't hate me. 17, 8, and 20.
Okay, we got student debt, we got science exploration in space, and we got degrading social habits. Okay. So I've done this hundreds of times, right? So I think it'd be fun if I try to actually just come up with
Freestyle it?
something in like 30 seconds.
Let's do it.
Okay, so debt, space, and social. I want to focus on that first, right? A lot of student debt. How do you get rid of student debt? You move to Mars. Okay? That's one way to get rid of student debt. Yeah, you just run away forever.
Yeah.
But if you move to Mars, you might face some issues with socialization because maybe you're feeling a little bit lonely, right? So we know that we want to be sending people to Mars in troops together, like a cohort. They go to Mars, they socialize, they make friends, and they run away from their student debt. Yeah, but in the movie, they didn't talk about student debt at least.
No, they did not.
See, yeah, you heard it here first,
Yes,
right?
you
This
did.
is how to solve the student debt crisis, move to Mars. Okay, so that's our goal. Now, we've got a lot of models. So we got access to education, which fits well, right? So they're running from their student debt, but maybe part of why they're running away is because they have interests of pursuing further education. Maybe on Mars, there's some kind of new grad school that's available there as well.
Of course.
On Mars, there's a new grad school.
MU.
We've got pro bono service, so all the school's totally free, right? It's another way to run away from debt. And we're giving jobs for people with disabilities. So I'll come back to that in a second.
Avatar.
Like Avatar, yeah. Revenue models. We got freemium, we got hourly rate, and we got e-commerce. Okay, so here's the thing. We're launching a website that you can sign up for if you are a student that currently has debt above $30,000. You qualify to be sent to Mars. where your debt will be completely forgiven, and you will also receive further education upon landing on Mars. You have to sign up through this website, though, and it's a freemium model. So you can go to Mars for free if you promise to actually teach courses or clean the space that's going on in, or cook on the way there, right? Or if you pay a little bit, you get more full service, and you get maybe even better teachers or a bigger wide range of access to different courses, and you get to just chill the whole space flight over to Mars. Jobs for people with disabilities, we're also going to employ people with disabilities. That's the idea.
All right, let's give him a round of applause, you guys.
Cool. So I think that's a good finale, right? So that's invent, right? A lot of that's really blue sky. Basically what happens next is we move into the program phase, where we throw at you a bunch of different questions in this canvas that we've created. If you've seen the business model canvas, it follows a similar format, but it's actually designed for social enterprises. So we've adjusted it slightly to fit that better. There's a bunch of questions, boom, 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 boom. There's 13 questions. If you answer all of them, you have a rough draft of a business plan. What's really cool about the program phase here is it's meant to poke holes in the idea that we just came up with. So we might say there's plenty of holes, right? Yeah. And that's fine, because we're trying to be blue sky, have fun with it. But we might be like, you know what, I really want to figure out this Mars school. This sounds like a really great way to forgive student debt and to help people pursue their academic interests. If we run it through these questions, we'll find that there's actually a lot of things that don't work with that idea, and therefore this will help us kind of push it further and make it slightly more realistic. Then we would try to go and find people that are relevant to this idea that might actually be interested in it, share it with them, and get some feedback. And that's basically how this process works. So it's called Models of Impact. It's all about using models to help you generate an idea. Something that happened today that you guys may or may not have noticed, and I want to just skip to this slide. Something that you may or may not have noticed is that instead of starting the ideation with, oh, hey, Chris, what's a cool idea for a business that we have? We actually started with the models. So using models, we generated an idea, versus very often you see entrepreneurs come up with an idea and then say, oh, shoot, what's my model, right? And try to find a model that fits the idea. What I found is that if you reverse that, if you use models to come up with the idea in the first place, you actually have an idea that, as crazy as some of these were, has some kind of sustainability baked into it, right? It has some kind of systemic thinking, some kind of thinking around how you're going to financially sustain this, and sustain this in terms of the impact that you want to create as well. You guys may have heard a stat that something like 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. It's something like that. I think it's because they're not thinking in this way. It's because the model is an afterthought, as opposed to the model being core to the idea. A model is all about sustainability, and that's really what helps a business succeed. So that's part of why I really believe in this kind of thought process. As fun or as weird as it can be used in pretty serious ways too. We had fun tonight, and we wrote up on the board, right, just 20 things about the future. You can do this for yourself or for a business that you might work with by having this list actually be, hey, here's 20 core competencies we have. Here's 20 services we offer. Here's 20 people that we offer that to. Here's 20 resources that we own, right? And actually start rolling the ideas based on those too. So there's a way to do this to have fun. There's a way to do this to actually really generate new programs, new products or services at your company as well.
Fantastic.
So this is the link. I really hope that you guys will check it out as well. It's pay what you want. That's another model. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to play this. We definitely have time for some questions, most likely, if there's any burning ones.
Go ahead.
So on your website, do you have an app that is a randomizer? So
No.
You can plug in your... Yeah.
So I don't, and the reason why, and I may someday be converted to actually make one. The reason why is actually one of the things you shouted out of social interaction. I like that this is a tabletop game, And so I actually want to encourage people to go to do this on a table and play with dice. If you don't have dice, though, you can actually just write numbers on pieces of paper and put it in Chris's hat and pull it from that too. But it's really intentionally an analog experience of doing this around a table with people. That said, there are online dice out there though that you can totally, yeah.
Yeah, the guy who's like the degradation of social society and technology is like, where's the app version of this? Thanks, Matthew. Thanks for doing
thank you.
this.
This was great.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, that's it. All right, thank you.